It is time. Club Shay. Monique came out. I just told y'all yesterday, this is why Steve Harvey came out saying it, and he was all like almost angry and blaming black folks. Why we always gotta tear each other down? Because he know Monique was coming. He knew was coming. And I told you, that's what it was about. Monique was coming. And he knew Monique was going to tell the truth. And she was going to be on Club Shay this week. And he wanted to get ahead of it. And that's why he came out talking the way he did. He didn't talk when Cat Williams did something. But as soon as he knew Monique was up there, everybody finna start running that clip. We blackout, yeah. So absolutely powerful. So we're going to go over some of the moments that happened here because it was incredible. Incredible. And very poignant and very much on point. And I'm glad that she got Shannon Sharp to interject. And Shannon Sharp was scared to death. But that's why... That's what made it special. Shannon Sharp had to get involved. Shannon Sharp had to say something. She put him on the spot so much that it was like, Shannon, you got to get involved. You can't sit on the fence on this one. Look in that camera, Shannon. Tell him, Shannon, come on, now you going to get me. See, you can't be no scared. You a big 280-some pound, muscular, scared black man. You can't be that. You can't be that. You see, Shannon's a good dude. Deep down, Shannon Sharp is a good guy. His problem is the success he's having and a lot of the misconceptions about Club Shay and what Shannon is that this brother's doing this and he's paving the way for other brothers to come through, and this is and all that. All of this is not what you think. And I'm not here to rip Shannon Sharp. I love Club Shay. I love the direction of it. I love where it's going, and where it's going to ascend to right now. But it's backed on the platform of Colin Cowherd from The Volume. He partnered with Shannon Sharp. They had a partnership together. So he has to split with them. They're helping distribute the show. And now the numbers are going through the roof. So it's a great partnership. But everybody around that's doing this ain't all brothers. So you got a lot of people that's involved in this that are friends and tied to the same people that Monique and everybody else gonna be tearing down. Pretty soon, somebody's gonna say something that they don't like. And it's gonna hurt some powerful people's friends. And Shannon's gonna be in a position, Shannon Sharp's gonna have to make a decision. And he's going to have to toe the line. He's going to have to atone. See, you keep saying his own show. Is it his own show? You see, he had to find someone to help distribute the show. The Volume, which got Draymond Green's show, which got this show, Colin Cowherd, who got the Colin Cowherd show, he has his own show. And it's his platform. Now, if Shannon Sharp has his own platform called the Shannon Sharp Platform, and he distribute Club Shay himself, then he has his own show. He really has his own show. And that's the step, and that's the level I want to see him get to. But they have a partnership. So Colin Cowherd actually did right. He's partnered with them. Instead of, see, what most of these podcasts do is they take the money and then they pay you. And what they generate on the show, they generate on the show, but they basically run the show. They own it. They'd be like, yeah, your production company, but they distribute it. They have the power of say of what's going to happen on the show and X, Y, and Z. But right away, yeah, Jeff Teague show, right? He's got a whole bunch of people on his show. So don't get it twisted. Shannon is a part of that circle. You know, but he don't really have a dog. He's not in Hollywood. He's more in sports entertainment, but he runs around with those people because he's comfortable in those places where most brothers don't go. The Skittles crew. And most of those people are in Hollywood. Now you have people who've been wronged, and now they feel they got a safe place where they can come and say what they want to say. Now that Cat Williams got 51 million and 50 something million views plus, the biggest thing ever. Now you're going to have people come in there. You saw Usher come there and try to make a Cat Williams moment. And Monique was coming up there, and you knew what this was going to be. It was going to be huge. It was going to be outrageous. I was supposed to be making a video right now about Steven Jackson. And I ran across the Monique thing, and I said, oh, that's going to have to wait. So Steven Jackson's going to have to wait. My nap had to wait. Everything had to wait because this couldn't wait. Monique laid out some things in this interview that was so groundbreaking. It even baffled Shannon Sharp because I think it's fitting for his style that he knows nothing about what's going on because he's like a kid. You know, it's like his interview style, it's like talking to a child almost and explaining to him what's going on. Like, mommy and daddy are getting a divorce. What? Oh, what? A divorce? What's that? You know, that's how Shannon Sharp's style is. And it's basically, you know, because he really doesn't know anything. Like, most of this stuff we've heard countless times. I saw you, Don the Writer. Don the Writer was in there too. He was watching it. I saw you in the chat. I saw some people up in there. People was trying to get their shine on. You see I was in there promoting, baby. Come over to Casino for Life page. Zeno was working. Shoot, I donated to the super chat. I paid them because I was like, man, as you can see, you see Gil's Arena. That's how we know you got fake traffic on your show. Why y'all not monetized? Y'all got 17,000 people in the chat, right? 17,000. As soon as it come on, 11,000 in the chat. Like, come on, be real. You got 11,000 in the chat, but you can't super chat on it. Now, why is that? Because you can't monetize fake traffic. Fake it till you make it. But only the real know. Don't believe me? Anybody that's here that go on that show on Gil's Arena, when you go in that live chat, you look for that cash, but that super chat button, and it won't be there. Then you know what time it is. Now, yes, hit the like button because we finna get into it. I'm gonna go through some of the major things that she talked about and kind of expand on some of the things that she spoke on because she kind of like didn't go all the way in and she kind of let it off the hook. Now, Kevin Hart was the most shocking thing I've ever heard on here because Kevin Hart loved Monique. I swear to God, he loved Monique. And when he was the biggest star ever, said he was going to help Mo and do all these things for her. And all of a sudden, when she broke this down today, that was the first time I've ever heard her mention that about Kevin Hart. And it really disappointed me to hear that. I never would see Kevin Hart like that, not with Monique. Of anybody in the world, I would never think he would do that to Monique, not him, with her. That shows you how far gone in the Hollywood he is. Because Monique ain't lying. That's one thing about somebody, you can tell a liar when you see one. Like you look at Gil and you know he's a liar. You know, all his takes, his stories, about 90% of it is a lie. So you know right away what a liar looks like and what they sound like and what they create. Now, she brought up a very interesting fact that when she was reaching out, Kevin Hart gave her some money and said, here, you heard her family was going through something. Kevin Hart gave her some money and they paid him back with interest. Paid Kevin Hart back. They got their money and they paid him back. And he said, whatever you want to do, you're going to do a show. I want to produce it. I want to do all these things for you. And his agent told the studio that they was working on that Kevin Hart said, the agent said that he doesn't want anything to do with Monique. She called Kevin Hart and he was like, it's a misunderstanding. I got you. You my sister. I got you. And she never heard from Kevin Hart again in 2 years. That almost broke my heart. Because no matter what they said about Kevin Hart, I like when Cat Williams talk about Kevin Hart, I said, well, Kevin Hart ain't never done nothing to that man. He hadn't. But he has done something to Monique. And until he make that right, I ain't fucking with him. He's going to have to explain why he did that. Sylvie, you know why I didn't criticize him. I'm saying he didn't do anything to you. Because that's the truth. You see, that's the thing. Cat Williams is saying Kevin Hart did X, Y, and Z, but he really didn't. Saying, oh, this guy came into Hollywood and got a show and did all this, but Kevin Hart has never done anything to Cat Williams. Cat is upset because that's the guy they chose to put in place of Cat Williams. When Hollywood got mad at Cat, they put Kevin in place of Cat. That's what Cat is upset about. Sylvie, that was in a response to the numerous attacks Cat Williams had been doing on Kevin Hart. He was taken up for who he believed at that time. He was taking up for Tiffany Haddish. And they had a movie coming out. And she was blowing up. And Kevin Hart was pissed. And he was addressing Cat Williams mostly based on Tiffany Haddish, not even himself. He was like, you can keep talking about me. I could take it. But he never did nothing wrong to him. Like, he never went to the studio and said, I don't want Cat Williams here. But now, if Cat, because Cat's been doing nothing but attacking him, if Cat Williams was to go somewhere and Kevin Hart is supposed to be somewhere, Cat Williams gonna be allowed in the building. So that'll be different. But Kevin Hart isn't going to Hollywood saying, hey, y'all got to keep Cat Williams out of movies. It's not what he's doing at all. So his beef is not really with them. His beef is with the studios. But here, Monique was done wrong. And everybody knew it. At first, when she did, because I believed the story they told. I said, oh my God, her husband is ruining everything. Monique, you can't be having your husband do all this stuff, man. He ain't no real manager in Hollywood. Because that's what they were passing around. That was the story. Then I heard her. I heard Monique. And once I heard Monique, I said, oh, okay, I hear you. I hear you, Monique. And I said, I owe you an apology. Because I was in here thinking you was in the wrong. You was being a diva. They went and made up these stories. They went and found girls saying, oh, she was a problem in the dressing room. She always finding a problem with something. She's just trouble. So that's easy for them to say about the black woman. And then they use other black women to do it. And they promised them an advance in a career or whatever. But they use those black women to do it to paint a narrative so you won't say, oh, see, there's the white girl. They sent the white girl to say this about this black woman. So now if it's black on black, they can't say anything. And that's the narratives. That's the right and wrong. What are you talking about? Told on himself, dude. We're talking about what happened years ago. We've already made those videos. And we followed the storyline. See, y'all acting like I just watched Club Shay and learned all this for the first time. The only thing we've learned today is what happened with Kevin Hart. That's the only thing new that came to the forefront, really, in this interview with me. Everything she said today, she basically has said on about 2 to 3 different shows. Plus, I used to sit through those 2-hour live streams with her and her husband and listen to them break this story down. Because I remember when she didn't go to Cannes to promote the film, and I'm like, do she realize that that's a career killer? And that's why I didn't understand. Like, why is she trying to request to be paid? Nobody gets paid. They don't even pay the white actresses to do that. They get paid in accommodations. They get all the rooms, the food, everything gets paid for, the flight. You're there to promote at the Cannes because This is where the film gets nominated. And when Monique didn't show up to Cannes, of course that's going to increase your rating to be, for you to win the Oscar. The movie wins the Oscar, and it's supposed to put you in a different status quo to get paid more. But when you're black, those things don't seem to exist. And you've seen Viola Davis mention this. Taraji, it's been a growing trend. And I've often said this plenty of times. This is what's going to happen when you don't own your own distribution. When you don't own the film that you're distributing, this is what people talk about. Underpaid. Take this deal. The next one's going to pay off. But to hear Kevin Hart do her like that and not speak to her for 2 years, not explain himself, disappear on her, turn his back, that part was extremely disappointing. And he should have to address that, because that's going to be damaging to him. So a lot of black women that support Monique. And there's a lot of black women that's not going to be happy when they see that and hear that. Now, I had no idea. It was going to get very candid very fast. But it took the theme of the Cat Williams interview, where it started right out the gate. Monique came right out swinging. I don't know how many times I heard big fat black woman on the podcast, but if I took a shot every time I heard big fat black woman during this whole show, I'll be drunk within the first 30 minutes. Now, let's get to the other sensation as to what happened. That was very powerful that she brought up. The audio of Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry called in the middle, got caught in the middle, got recorded, and they recorded what he said when he apologized. Where they from, it's legal. So the audio they have is legal. Tyler Perry is pissed because now that could be used against him. Now, this thing about Oprah that she brings up, she brought up Oprah, she brought up Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels apologized, and they actually did some work together. And she credited T.S. Madison for making that happen. Oprah Winfrey could not do that. And Monique said today what I told you guys about Oprah. She said it. Oprah, maybe Oprah isn't as powerful as we all think she is. That's because she isn't. Oprah's a gatekeeper who's made to look like she's powerful. Oprah did not put the color purple together. So it wasn't her idea about the salaries. She had no control over the conditions. She had no idea what was going on because Oprah's just the face. Oprah handpicked these black people. They said, Oprah, we need we putting together the color purple. We need to get a movie of color out here to get the black people back in the theaters. So Steven Spielberg, right? And they got old Lionsgate, they got everybody, all these people. So Amblin was paying people. That's Steven Spielberg. They had to audition for Steven Spielberg. And they were handpicked. When you're a handpicked person, you don't audition. And once you agreed to audition, when you already know you got the role, even though they felt that was weird because they were picked for it, that's a problem. No, she was recording people. Everybody's, why you record Tyler Perry's conversation? That's illegal. It wasn't illegal in the state that they were in. So they knew the rights that they had. Now, the whole situation plays out a lot different because I wanted people to understand what the dilemma was all along. Oprah tried to play dirty with Monique because Monique embarrassed her. Oprah is a diva, okay? And when she saw Monique was getting all the attention and the love from the black people, that's what Oprah's supposed to get. Oprah don't like anybody in her way. She will tear you apart. She took Kim Whitley. This is what she didn't say on the show that I'm going to expand on. Kim Whitley, y'all know her as she played Craig's stepmama and the next Friday. Craig! Kim Whitley was taken care of. Oprah was making sure, and that was her best friend. So she told her, right, they both was dating Gerald Levert. Monique had Gerald Levert, and Kim Whitley went and took Gerald Levert from Monique. Now, that's a whole nother thing that didn't get discussed on this show. But Kim Whitley, Oprah got in the way and started promising Kim stuff. And then Kim turned away from her. Now, that was Monique's best friend because they started promising Kim Whitley stuff. So that's how they fell out. And that was the start of it. So when they had that whole girls thing, when Oprah apologized to her about her family, bringing her family on the show, and she said, I had no idea your mother was going to be on the show. It was just your brother. And the whole family was coming. The producer said, well, they were coming down here, but they weren't going to be on the show. Then when we get down here, Oprah was like, next thing you know, they're going to all be on the show. And she was like, Barbara Walters showed me more respect and rejected them. And you went ahead and did it and put them on your show. Oh yeah, Oprah took the role from her, like she said in The Butler. She was supposed to play Richard Pryor's grandmother, and Mike Epps was supposed to play Richard Pryor. Nick Cannon tried to audition, and he didn't get it. Mike Epps was going to be Richard Pryor, and he ended up falling out with them, and it was like Mike Epps was going to be fired from playing Richard Pryor in the biopic, and now they were pulling it from another company, but Oprah was replacing Monique before they end up shelving the whole thing. Um, no, they never made the movie because it was so much red tape in the way. But Oprah is like, I'll play the Richard Pryor's grandmother. So anytime Monique was being offered something, they came in and tried to shoot it down. Oprah was playing a dirty game with her, but the real enemies and the real detractors here, and she brought their names up, was Lionsgate. Lionsgate are the problem. They've always been the problem. You see, that's the corporation that screwed up Power. It screwed up Stars. Now Stars have parted way with Lionsgate. That's the house that Saul built. Lionsgate. Lionsgate used to give blacks and small movies opportunities, and they built themselves up with Saul. When Saul started making all that money, Lionsgate just like, man, who is this company, Lionsgate? They just paying all these money to people, and they making these films. And they started making their money off Saul, and started making other films, and started taking off. Like Bloomhouse started doing all the horror, so Lionsgate started evolving fast. Then they started going into television, doing television shows, and started producing all the different type of films. And they were financing a lot of projects, so they started partnering with people like Tyler Perry, Will Packer. They were giving black filmmakers opportunities, and this is why everybody's like, "Oh man, this is great," but they will lowball you. They would pay you dirt, treat you bad, poorly, even. You were not treated humane. And if you crossed them, and like she did, not going to cans, and I was saying when it first happened, you had to know how bad this was gonna be if you didn't go to cans. You know this business. So you should know this is not finna go well if you don't go to cans. And it did not go well. Wasn't about the money. Because she told them her kid was graduating. She didn't say it here, but her kid was graduating. And she told them she didn't want to miss that. So she couldn't go. But she could go if the price was right. They would have to really compensate her, at least offer 500,000 or something for her to go for her troubles. Now, no one gets paid to go. So they felt she was being greedy. And this is somebody who was paid $50,000 to play the role. And this movie is finna gross millions of dollars. So they're like, oh, she's just trying to get money. It's like, does she realize she's gonna get more opportunities and millions of dollars? She's gonna be in total demand. This movie's gonna win the Oscar. So she ended up winning the Oscar anyway, and Lionsgate was so done with her because she was so difficult, according to them, and they blamed her husband, who, like, today she explained they thought he was an attorney. Now, all I learned today is that Kevin Hart is spineless. He has no backbone. And I showed you that with the Kelly Clarkson thing. Because he's in that group. With him and Steve and the rest of those guys. That's why Steve came out and said what he said. It was so blatantly obvious because Cat Williams' interview is like a month old. That was a month ago. And now this week you want to start talking about unity? Why you wasn't talking unity with Monique? You was like, that was my sister. If she was your sister, why are you telling your sister she was wrong? And she can't do all this, and there's a certain way you gotta do things, and you gotta, we black out here, we just can't do all this stuff. It was the most henpecked response I've ever seen, and if anybody was black in the business saw that from somebody like Steve Harvey, who supposedly made it in the business, the future is bleak. And this Memphis bleak. You're going to be like him. That's why you got situations like with Jonathan Majors. That's why you can have something like that happen and everybody just be like, well, it's okay. Because we all programmed. Same thing. It's a lot of stuff she said on here that I bring up all the time. You've been programmed to like a certain type of woman. You're programmed to not think it's normal for a husband to take up for his wife. You see, that's why all these Hollywood people, everybody's now getting to see it on Club Shay. And watch, this is going to happen. I swear to you, they're going to start putting shackles on Shannon Sharp. I already see it coming. Black Hawk don't get his shackles. Because he's getting too big. His platform is getting too big to have these people on him. And what you mean by shackles? Shackles is they're going to start telling him what guests he can have on the show. And who can't come back on there. That's what's going to start happening. Watch what I tell you. I already see it coming. Mm-hmm. Yep, hit the like button. I know y'all just got here. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, because there's a lot of things that was going on that she mentioned on this show that was incredible, to say the least. But this black woman who has a black husband, she stood there and spoke of him as royalty. She spoke of a black man, a black woman speaking of her black husband as a king. You see that? A black woman just spoke about her man as a king. She didn't speak of him as a tool. She empowered him. She credited him for helping her evolve, saying, I had shortcomings. He helped me grow up. Even though I had money and all that, I still had a mind of a 15-year-old girl. I can't be told nothing, and blah, 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 all that. And he checked all that at the door. Now, a lot of women be like, oh, I don't need no man to tell you, to check you and all that. And that's why they miserable. And they wonder why they miserable. They wonder why they on Valentine's Day, they all going out with the girls. They wonder why the men don't want to do nothing for them. They wondering why. Because you don't empower your man. Why do a man want to keep going home to somebody that ain't empowering them, making them feel special? Shoot, they want to feel good every now and then. They want to feel like, damn, somebody care about them. It only makes sense, right? Hell, if he like you, shit, you should like him back, right? If y'all together. I mean, he's not your servant. And that's where these women sometimes get it confused. The man is not there to be your servant. Yes, you the queen, but you got to realize he's the king. There's a yin and yang. It ain't a one-person show. On each side. And they be like, well, why my man try to treat me like a hoe? A man can't treat you a way unless you allow him to treat you a certain way. Trust me, men know better. Men know better. They know I am not going to get into this situation with anybody. Trust me, when men get around women, they know they ain't going to talk a certain way to them. Now, if you a thought and a chicken head and don't respect yourself, they're going to talk to you differently. If you ratchet, they're going to talk to you in a ratchet manner. They don't feel they have the right to talk to you that way because the way you're carrying yourself. So the fact that she came out here and empowered her husband and said, no, he does do something for me. Why is that weird to all the people that's listening? To those people out there, and they was criticizing her and talking about her husband. And Tiffany Haddish, she had some nerves. And I'm glad she got Tiffany Haddish told, because I never saw Tiffany Haddish said that about her. And said, but I wouldn't took the route she took, and I wouldn't want that husband of hers. Like, why would you go right out to a magazine? They asked you about Monique, just out of the blue. Totally programmed interview. So yes, these people are playing their puppets, and they've been playing a game. And I told y'all about Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey playing a game, puppets. And I told you how Kevin Hart had changed. When I saw him put up that poster and he was, oh, these are my favorite comedians. I have a painting of my favorite comedians, and Steve Harvey's on there. And all the kings of comedy. Then he had George Carlin, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Eddie Murphy. You know, just all the popular names. It was like, oh, I just wanted to have a painting of all my favorite comedians. It's like, that's not true. Where is Bill Burr? Where is Patrice O'Neal? You know, where's all these guys? Colin, all these guys who was slaying it that you came up with. I mean, he was your roommate. He helped groom you. Those were the guys you looked up to. No mention of them. So the Kevin Hart, Hollywood Kev, is definitely a different individual. He's definitely in that group. Once he decided to kiss the rock, he stepped into that upper echelon. Right. Everybody agreed with Monique behind the scenes, but nobody was going to say that out loud. Monique is a beautiful woman. And no, despite her size, like I said, just because of somebody's big don't mean that, you know, they ugly. Monique is a beautiful woman. She's never been an ugly woman. She was just big. Like she said, she never had a chance, no problem getting no men. Even back then, guys wanted some Monique. I know my cousin wanted Monique. Boy, he married a big woman. He married about a 300, 400-pound woman. You know, she lost a lot of weight since then. But yeah, he loved her. Lizzo's not an ugly woman. She's just big. Now, there's some people that's big and just ugly, but they're not ugly women. They just happen to be big. That's just their size. Well, at the cost of a family, like she said, Tyler Perry should compensate her. And I agree. Tyler Perry should compensate her for every dime and every penny that she says she's owed.
Tyler, will you come on Club Shay and let's have a conversation about the fair compensation for what transpired between you and Monique? You can sit right here, and she's sitting right here, and you and I can have a conversation.
And we'll do you one better. And give me 5 on that, baby. We'll do you one better, Shay. My husband and I will sit right next to him. See, with this whole situation, and some of the people that Kat talked about, ironically, I have this issues with those same people. There were people that reached out to Tyler Perry on my behalf.
Okay.
And I was grateful for that. Okay? There was Al Sharpton, the Reverend Al Sharpton, civil rights leader.
Yeah.
I sent him that audio. He listened to it. He said, baby, what that man did to you was wrong, and you're like my daughter. And we're going to have to get him to fix that.
Right.
We didn't hear from Al Sharpton for 6 months. The next time we saw Al Sharpton, he was on a podium talking about we don't need to fly commercial because we can fly Tyler Perry's private jet. I said, that's why maybe I'm not hearing back from him.
And that is true. Because Al Sharpton has never been able to do anything for anybody but line his own goddamn pockets. Why do black people still go to Al Sharpton? The Reverend Al Sharpton. The con man Al Sharpton is what it is. Look, let me tell you about Al. And I want to be clear, because I'm going to let you guys know something you don't know. And it's factual. 100% factual. Al Sharpton was working for the FBI. He was a snitch for the FBI. He was working for the mob. The mob, he tried to rip off the mob. The mob tried to kill him, and he ran to the FBI for protection and ratted on the mob. That's Al Sharpton. That's who he is. Now he's a reverend. You see? Everybody knows that. No, they don't, bruh. No, they don't. And just because you think you're out, don't mean you're out. That's because that's what they want you to focus on that. Now, Shannon Sharp asked them to come on the show. So it's a lot of pressure that's going to be put on them to come on the show. Tyler Perry's never going to do that. Oprah Winfrey's never coming on Club Shay Shay. They never coming on Club Shay Shay. Steve Harvey, not coming back. Why won't they do it? That's the question you're going to ask yourself. Why won't these people come on this platform? What is so wrong about what's going on here that they don't want to go back on the show? What's happening here? Steve Harvey already set the stage. I ain't going back and forth and tearing black folks down. I ain't got nothing to do with all that. I don't want no parts of tearing down black folks. Why can't we build? We gotta learn to move forward. Monique talked all about moving forward and moving on. She said, I got love for all y'all. Let's have this conversation. Let people apologize and let's move forward. She barely talked about Steve at all. But she pointed out some very big things. Stephanie Mills went up there and talked to him. Everybody talked. And then Kevin Hart came. And that's what broke me. Is I know Kevin Hart has a heart. He used to. And what Kevin Hart would do was help somebody. Especially in comedy. He would help. So
now, you know when Cat Williams said Gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself. When he first comes on, he says, you're like my mother, you're like my aunt, you're like my sister. Okay? Then we do the podcast. We speak about the Tyler Perry situation. Oprah Winfrey, he said, I don't really know Oprah, but I'm going to reach out to Tyler. Appreciate that. Kevin kept his word. He reached out to Tyler Perry. Kevin Hart called me back about maybe a week or so later. He said, Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he don't want to revisit it. He said, but I tell you what, let's move past that, Mo. Let's just move past that and let's just do great things. So whatever.
That's what Kevin said.
I want you to hear me, Kevin Hart. Let's move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do. Now, let me say that before we go any further, because I want to make sure I give Kevin Hart his proper credit. When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check.
Kev wrote them a check. That's the Kevin Hart I know would have done that. From everything I know, because I know people that worked with him out of Houston. They worked with Heartbeat Productions and everything. I got photos and everything. Never put them out. But that's where Country Wayne and a lot of those guys was performing, where Kevin Hart came down there, and when he performed in Houston, is some of his Paper Cup Boys or whatever, and Heartbeat Productions, and all of those guys that's on the comedy circuit, they were in that area in Houston. So Kevin Hart, they know him better than I do. But from what I know of the things that he's done, this is in a line of what he's done. Now, Cat, we know way more than we know Kevin. Okay? We know way more than him. He's part of TMT with Floyd Mayweather. My boy is his DJ. All his concerts, DJ Opio from Chicago, our guy is his DJ. He's been at Floyd Mayweather's mother's house, events, everything. So it is what it is. Cat has been around. So we'll continue. Let's listen. So we had Kevin Hart getting the check.
And said, here you go. We're forever grateful for that. When we were able to give it back, we said, brother, we appreciate you with some interest on top, because I don't ever want nobody to think, yeah, my husband. So I want to make sure I put that out there. That brother really helped us out when we needed to be helped out. Then when he came back with, I got you. I didn't ask Kevin Hart to do anything. He said, I'll executive produce, I'll partner with you. I said, good shit, Kevin, because we're in a deal with Endemol. And we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it is, I got you. Now, Kevin Hart is one of the biggest entertainers right now in the world, right? And what's then? We got off the phone with Kevin Hart. We called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us, he's going to partner, executive produce. They was like, oh, this is incredible, because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
2 weeks go by. We get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said, Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any kind of relationship with Monique.
So what changed between the 2 weeks and plus he gave you a check, you gave the money back, then said he would partner with you, executive produce, whatever you need, Mo, hey, we got you. So what transpired, or what do you think transpired between then that 2 week period?
Well, as soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol, and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now. I said, wait a minute. Are you okay, though, with this white man calling them up? Getting in between our relationship at something you said. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication, and we're going to talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication. That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him. I've never talked back to Kevin Hart again.
Wow. Unbelievable. That broke me right there. Out of this whole interview, that part broke me. That was the only shocking thing I heard today. Everything else I've heard before. I never heard that. This was the first time. And you look at Shannon's face. He's like, oh my God. And she's hurt. Because she's feeling betrayed. Because this man is part of that circle. They're part of that elite circle. You see, let me tell you why. Because, see, she did Steve Harvey's show, and they snatched Steve's show away. But who did it? Who was these gatekeepers? Who owns Steve Harvey? Dr. Phil and Ellen DeGeneres. Those are his keepers. And they own Kevin Hart through an extension. Steve Harvey roped Kevin Hart in. Kevin Hart stripped down to his underwears, to his drawers. Kevin Hart did a scene saying he would suck a D and be gay while wearing a Speedos in a movie. This is before he was the big entertainer in Hollywood. They was trying to make him the romantic comedy guy. They put him in Think Like a Man. You said, he said that? Hold on. It's been going down. Of course he said it. I'll find it for you if you want to hear. Hold on. I'm going to find it for you. See, he stripped.
You are a psychopathic social misfit who's clearly in the middle of a cheap homosexual asshole. If I'm gay, it's only because after fucking you for 3 months, that seems like next logical step to take. I won't let you chase another man's ass.
Listen.
Middle of a cheap homosexual asshole. If I'm gay, it's only because after fucking you for 3 months, that seems like next logical step to take. I won't let you chase another man's ass. Then fuck you again, Joe. Homosexual panic. Oh, it's all right. This is a panic. It's got no idea what I'm doing.
So, now she's screaming he's in a homosexual panic. And then he's saying if he was gay, all the stuff he's going to do. Yeah. See, this is before he made it. These are the things people had to do to get these parts. So when you see Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart on the radio station, and you see him stripping down, and you see Kevin Hart stripping for Steve Harvey on the show, and they think this is funny. To promote a man to promote a movie that is not about stripping. He's on a radio show, meaning nobody can see him. Steve Harvey's like, oh my God, dropped his head. And look, like Kevin Hart is stripping and looking at me and now, what was the point in doing that? There was no point. Oh, yeah, well, she brought up a lot of valid points. Oh, Steve Harvey's mad about these too. This deep fake AI technology. He hates this. He hate deep fake, boy. He can't stand it. They got this AI going around lying. And they just gonna create another YouTube channel and throw more deep fake AI stuff out there. I mean, I just don't even click on it. I tell the truth. I don't click on that stuff. I see the deep fake. I see them kissing each other and all that. I don't want no deep fake. None of that stuff. I do not click on it. Yeah, well, that's the main part that people don't really understand or get. You know, they don't get the fact that these people just don't seem to understand or get it. What Monique did was she exposed the realities of it. Like, her and Lee Daniels fell out for no reason because they have a circle that they have to appease. If instead of having a spine and saying, "Hey, can't y'all just work this out? We ruining a good project here. We got a chance to make something good happen." Nope, nobody wants to see that. They all go, "I don't want you dealing with them," and then they got to shut down. Now, Oprah Winfrey don't have the power that everybody thinks she does. She don't have the control. She doesn't write the checks. So when everybody was getting underpaid, and what Monique was saying by you allowing yourself when you allow yourself to audition, now you're giving them the free green light to treat you any old kind of way that they wanted to. And then when she writes this letter to Raji on social media, like a love letter to, like she said to Oprah, you just now patted her on the back and said, okay, Oprah, I see you now. I get it. You just let her off the hook. You just let Oprah off of the hook. But the thing is, Oprah is trying to fix all of it. And because her image is looking bad, they all saying Oprah, 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 Oprah. Nobody's saying Steven Spielberg, Amblin. They wrote the checks. Nobody's called them out. Because those are the people that was in power. They put The Color Purple together. What's going to happen to Steve? Nobody's going to know. Oh, no, they got Gayle King for that. Yeah, my phone got to get on the charger. My phone is dying. Monique made $1.7 million in 1 year. She was doing stand-up in 2016. She came to the Hard Rock. Yeah, it came to the Hard Rock. So when she came to the Hard Rock, hit the like button, everybody. I know y'all just got here. Subscribe to the page, hit the notification bell. The super chats work. My cash app is Carceno, Karceno. Well, no. See, the problem is, DL. No, DL has always been a chump. Nobody likes DL Hughley. This man who cheated on his wife considerably throughout the entire time he was married, got divorced, got remarried. He's a fake politician. Now he's with the Democratic Party, did that little fake faint. Oh, he got COVID and passed out. He just got some deal with CNN. He's always been a hack. The only thing he could tell was black and white jokes. That's it. They tried to put DL in movies. He failed because he wasn't talented. DL's a sucker. And he's always been the sucker. And that's his problem. He made it because he was on Comic View and he used to roast people. He just go in the audience, look at people and roast people, so they made him the host. He was good at that. So that became his intro into all of this, into taking off. But he used to spend all his time just laughing at his own jokes and then stealing jokes from people. I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift music because I don't really know it. But a friend of ours was dying of cancer, Delaney. She's a 14-year-old girl. She was dying of cancer, and her last wish was to see Taylor Swift. And we didn't think that, I definitely didn't think that was going to happen. And it happened. Taylor Swift came to her, to the house, visited her, stayed longer than she was supposed to stay. They spent the day together. You know, they did each other, they did nails, they did everything. Took a picture together, the whole nine. So, yeah, and I was like, I could never go against you ever in life, Taylor, because I can't believe you did this. Then all of a sudden, everything flipped upside down on its head. Yeah, she's a friend of the family. The whole family is friends to our family. Yes. She don't wash her legs. Well, I don't know that much about her, but I never was fond of her until that situation. But back to DL Hughley. Now, when DL Hughley and Monique got into it, DL had been taking shots at Monique for a long time. And Monique didn't even know it. And then they were supposed to be cool. The show they got canceled. So they were all bummed out. They had nothing to do. So everybody started playing this game that they normally play on DL's like radio show. They all play that, what would you rather? And somebody brought up and mentioned things about her husband. Now that angered her because her husband is her lifeline. So why would that stop? You see what I'm saying? That's her lifeline, is her husband. Why would you ask that question? They do that kind of weirdo stuff at parties. I remember Choke No Joke saying that when the guy from BET and all them, they was like, would you sleep with this guy? Would you die or do this and that? He was like, sleep with a guy. Like, why would that even be the question? You know, like, why would you even say, oh, would your husband sleep with Lee Daniels or anything like that? It don't even make any sense. Yeah, it was the test game. And the only way you win is not to play. So Monique didn't play the game. She was just like, that's disrespectful. Like, why would you even say something like that about somebody's husband? You know, like, she didn't think that was cool to put her husband in a situation with male on male. Oh yeah, we've heard 1,000 rumors. She thought Shannon Sharp was gonna bring it up when she was like, "Whoa, what you mean, like about my husband? Like, what did you hear?" Because she didn't heard it all. She didn't heard that, you know, like she's bisexual. The husband is bisexual, and they both each other's beards. Oh, they didn't heard it all. Oh, this thing ain't charging fast enough at all. I'm gonna have to use the other charger. All right. We're gonna use this charger. All right. Let's see. But now I gotta stand right here. All righty then. So now, DL Hughley had an attitude because they had already prepped him to what Monique was going to say. So he was like, yeah, just real short and with an attitude. Then the last straw is when they was on the same bill together to perform. And he started this hissy fit because he came in late talking about he was supposed to close. He knew he wasn't supposed to close. He thought he can come there and force the action, which he did. No. When you look at this thing, when it's all said and done, people, people look at it and say she's starting something, but Monique is just really responding. And she let DL Hughley have it on stage and just incinerated him. And he tried to follow that and he couldn't. Because now Monique just disintegrated him, so he was mad as hell. So he had to come out there and try to do the show. The whole crowd is all revved up. So when she came to Chicago, she had made like 1.7 like that year or something just from doing shows and everything else. She had made like 1.7. She was doing her comedy run. So yep. Yeah, she performed at the Hard Rock. She had a deal with Hard Rock Casino. They booked her at the Hard Rock. All the women. It was mostly all women in there. It was some guys that showed up, but they were there, and she destroyed all of them again. She got on Steve Harvey. She got on all of them. Steve wasn't there to help the situation. He was there to try to get Monique to apologize. That was his thing. Let me talk to her. This is my sister. I can get her back on page. I can get her back to go. They always send the token black guy. They sent Tyler Perry to try to get her to go to the cans. Then he said, I understood, gave her a hug and left. Everybody tried to call the next black person to get them to do it. But at some point, like Monique just did today, y'all got to call out the real victims. I mean, the real problem. The real problem ain't the brothers. It ain't Oprah. It's bigger than them. It's Lionsgate. It's Amblin. It's these companies. They're the ones. Cat Williams, you got to call out the Gatekeepers. You got to call out Paramount. You got to call out Universal, Cat. You got to call out all of these majors. That they the ones discriminated against you, not Kevin Hart. That's what Cat got to do. Calling out Kevin Hart and destroying Kevin Hart ain't gonna do nothing to them. They don't lose no sleep or no money if they don't have Kevin Hart. They'll create another one, but it still won't be you. So that's not gonna fix the problem, is it? The problem is not going to get fixed until everybody start coming together to say, all right, we need to start controlling distribution. Here it is, streaming has opened a whole new door for people to start making content and distribute it. Now people making their own network off the internet. So you got Colin Cowherd, right? He is not the richest man in the streaming universe. All these people has made way more money than him. Stephen A. Smith, all these guys have made more money than Colin Cowherd. This man now has Club Shay. He got Draymond Green's show. He got Jeff Teague's show, and probably countless others under his umbrella of the volume. He owns the volume. Now, Draymond Green makes more money than Colin Cowherd. Why don't Draymond Green be able to distribute his own? And why has he got a partner with the volume? I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with him. I'm just saying, why don't we have our own distribution? You see what I'm saying? Everybody has this major problem going on here. So as you see, that problem is happening here in the streaming world when it's supposed to be open free market, right? This is another chance to get it correct. They're trying to already get a stranglehold on it and pay you peanuts here too. Now, Colin Cowherd haven't appeared on anything. He does his own show, and that's that. Now you got you got this big thing going down, and everybody's gonna have to get themselves in position. People are gonna have to learn to get in line. Oh yeah, on One Crack News, we did talk about the Swifty Bowl 1 coming up this weekend. Pick one. So, yeah, we did that today. Right, you got, what's his name? Byron Allen. Byron Allen got my goodness, like about almost $1 billion. His net worth is about 600, 700, 800. A comedian. He produced so much. Where he tried to do the black news and he ended up buying it, calling it the Griot now. It was called Black News, but they folded. So he just called it the Griot, which just means black. Because he wants to make the news universal. Well, there's a lot of problems going on. So when you start seeing things that are like not making a lot of sense. Yeah, well, if it don't make a lot of sense, then when you take a good glance at it, you start to see it with different eyes. But what made it iconic? Yeah, well, mm-mm. Not even for a little bit. You see, the main problem is it's just that everyone has been doing their own thing and taking their time and doing their own thing. So when you see that, you have a lot of people that they don't seem to care one way or another. Everybody is stuck in the ruck. It's like, she's okay. I mean, that's the thing. Your life will be altered. And it's sad because Monique is one of the best common comedic actresses we've seen from female in a long time. And we constantly seeing all different type of people of color when they keep trying to say, well, you just don't translate well overseas, and all these different lies they tell to try to condition you to being they try to condition you into being a accepted to what they give you instead of what you deserve. Now, when the trailer blew up and possible people could have been killed, there should have been an investigation by the insurance company, period. Because people lost personal items and things of that nature. So that would have to be reported. All of that had to be done because the fire department is going to require that they do it. Because they're going to have to insure whoever the insurance company is that had the trailers. They're going to have to deal with them. Hmm. So overall, I heard Monique. I understand Monique. My heart goes out to Monique, and she's right. But I'm more disappointed in Kevin Hart. What he did is egregious. To to actually do it that way was just awful. So I want to say shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life. I know he's going to have a great take on this. I'm going to let this phone charge. I just let it go as long as I could, but it's going to die again. So I'm going to have to let it charge back up. Shouts out to Welcome to HD, TV, Armando Black TV, Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez. My Patreon is Casino for Life. I'm going to tell y'all something different on the Patreon that I left out of this that Monique would have went down the road with. But I'm surprised she didn't do it. But she chose on this show not to do it. I guess that was probably because of Shannon Sharp. You know, she chose not to really bring this up. So yes, so definitely thank y'all for hitting the like button. Hopefully you guys subscribe to the page. I'll be able to chat with you guys a little later. Hopefully. So I'm out. Peace, brother.